We are live, baby.
Mythical breed queen. तेच कुत्र आणते नाही दुसरा आहे ते रिक्रिएट केला
पूर्ण झालं फक्त एकदा चालू झाली का स्ट्रीम
Step aside. We're coming.
We'll get a 2-0 victory over Fnatic. For Fnatic, they still have another life. They still have another chance.
Of course, it feels sad that we lost, but we're still alive in the tournament. All we have to do is beat crew.
Me siento extremadamente confiante y creo que nunca me había sentido tan confiante de mis compañeros que tengo al lado, que cualquiera se puede sacar una ronda y puede dar vuelta a todo y nos da ese como momentum de esa partida.
I think my most memorable moment against Gazant was a chance 21 when he won and dropped us off the tournament. And now we have a chance for a payback.
Derki han pasado 3 años, pero de nuevo se demostró que soy mejor duelista que tú.
We've lifted trophies before. We can do this.
Aló. Hello.
센티넬과 마드리드 결승전에서 패배를 맛봤을 때 후회가 되는 플레이들이 마구 떠올랐고 그리고 트로피를 내가 들고 싶었는데 라는 생각과 그냥 많이 후회했던 것 같습니다. 그리고 화도 많이 냈어요.
It was one of the best feelings ever to lift that trophy. I'm very confident that we can make a repeat of the Madrid Grand Finals. I've done it before, I can do it again.
마드리드 때처럼 둘 중 하나가 집에 가게 될 테니
웹캠
관객들에게 좋은 경기를 보여주도록 합시다.
Genji, yeah, their symbol is the tiger, but I feel like we're the tiger now, and they're the cat, and we're coming for blood.
Video capture. बरोबर ना व्हिडिओ कॅप्चर ना मीडिया असो नाही व्हिडिओ कॅप्चर ऍड एक्झिस्टिंग केलं तर दिसत का नाही
Sentinels.
हे केला सर
अरे यार काय करू आता
Genji.
हाऊ टू बघ ना आता तुला Genji का घे आवाज
And it can only end this way. These two teams have met each other 3 other times in the past. Today is number 4. And who stands tall? Because it's for all the marbles and it's for survival in the competition. Here is your series layout. You got Lotus, you got Icebox, and Haven. And I said we were going to see Lotus. And I mean, look, it's not a shocker, but Sentinels are the ones who ended up wagering for Lotus there, Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the start here on the veto, I think it does make some sense. Genji continue to not really want to play on Sunset now that they have unveiled that Abyss. But the Ascent ban away here from Sentinels, not wanting a repeat of what happened that first time that they did clash. But they elect to go to Lotus, and Genji goes to Icebox. It's been a strong map overall. They've gotten wins, but they've very rarely been clean ones.
And I really think this is a interesting pick from Sentinels for a couple reasons. First of all, they haven't played it since May 4th, week 5 of stage 1 in Americas against Furia. That's the last time we saw Icebox from them. They've been widely banning it. However, this was the decider map at Masters Madrid, where Sentinels absolutely destroyed Genji. This could be them saying, you remember that? You remember that time we did that to you? We're going to do it again here today.
Yeah, but then when you look at Haven at the end of it there, I mean, again, there's just so many things. Overall, what I'm expecting here, fellas, is a phenomenal matchup. I think both teams, I think Genji, they're going to wake up. I think they will go ahead and shake off what happened in the past. Sentinels, they have found their form, they have found their confidence again. This should be a clash of titans. it should be an absolute war. At least that's what I'm expecting. I wouldn't be shocked if it goes to 3, but if it does go to 3, I feel quite confident in Gen G's chance.
I mean, I'm right there with you that Haven, you know, it was at the Ascent. Those are the maps that they were able to go ahead and take them down on. So I think that in the long term, it could favor them. But, okay, no big overarching changes whatsoever here. So just going to be straight up. I wasn't sure Sentinels electing to pick up this Lotus versus Gen G. Were they going to have something up their sleeve? Were they going to be trying to bring out the deadlock here? No.
They're just going to play each other straight through. And I think that is the best way to approach this. Sentinels realized that in that series against FPX, and they're keeping that trend going here, Paper.
It's going to come down to teamwork, and that's what Sentinels showed in their previous match, whereas Gen G struggled with that against Heretics. So it has to be confidence right now for Sentinels. You have to find ways to keep those Gen G players off balance, to keep them uncomfortable, and to make it hard for Munchkin to make good reads.
My eyes are going to be going to Texture and Lock here, and then Zekin and Saucy seeing that fade raise combination. Who can find value? Who can get the better read? It could all come down to that.
All right, folks, well, let's go ahead and dive into map 1, shall we? We're going to send it over to your casters, 2 guys who just love commentating some of the biggest games possible. It's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, fellas. We're gifted with yet another banger. Our 2 global winners from 2024 collide on this stage one more time. The difference today, though, is that one walks away with Death of the Year, the other continues their pursuit of glory.
Yeah, this is an obnoxious game. I can't believe we're here. I mean, we thought that this group would have been completely different. Gen G would have made it through. Heretics would have been in the spot that Gen G is in right now. But Sentinels, I mean, they looked great. The recovery, the turnaround that they had compared to the first match they had against Gen G. They're going to need to bring that energy against FPX here today on this Lotus. And the last time these 2 teams clashed on this map, it was a mirror. It was a 13-7 win for Sen. And oh man, this is going to be an unbelievable start.
I mean, this is the tournament that's on everyone's minds at the beginning of the year. This is what players play for. This is what the entire year is about. And for one of these 2 teams, it ends today. Sentinels on the attacking side of Lotus. You've got Lakia, who's already taken a lot of space towards A. Now taking a step back, but otherwise, Dre, the map very quiet.
Yeah. So timid from both sides right now. No one wanting to make an early mistake. Very default play across the board. It's going to be a lurk smoke on C. Putting doubt in the minds of Gen G. But Munchkin, he's getting ahead of that.
Flip horizontal, flip vertical.
Smoke out from Karan as well.
Yeah,
Prowler through, but you're right, Munchkin ahead of the line just a little bit. Getting enough info as to what's really going on. You see, as we see
that side,
towards A, a couple of members across the middle of the map. Lockie is the first one to fall.
Yeah, he was the solo man there as well. It's all up to Karan here.
With a classic light armor, the wall will conceal their movements. As Texture tries to get a little active, Texture was an absolute demon the last 2 times these teams faced off.
Yeah, he absolutely shut Zekin out of the series. And he just shut down Celsius.
At least out of this round, Meteor with a nade and a flash at his feet will fall at the hands of Zekin. His Tense looks to get a little bit more active, will connect onto Munchkin. Numbers the way of the attack in a massive amount too. And it's not getting any better for the #1 seed from the APAC region. Sentinels win the pistol, and very quickly, the last time they played, they won 1 out of the 4 pistols the entire series. They struggled.
And not only that, but it's Zekin getting a 3K into that round, getting momentum. It's something that he couldn't do the last time around against Gen G. And it's something that was able to get them over the hurdle in that grand final in Madrid for Sentinels to take that one home. This is...
2x करायचा बेस्ट
काय शोधलं
2x का 2x आपाप होते लाईन
थोडासा मला 1440 वर कावर दिक्कत द्यायला लागलं काय माहिती अरे हा भाई राइट गेम कनेक्टेड ए तू राइट गेम्सला कनेक्ट करून ठेवलंय
understanding that they have all gun advantage, all utility advantage, and it's going to be a
मल्टिपल अकाउंट दुसरा करायचा अकाउंट
अरे तसंच करावं लागतं एकदा 80 वर जाऊन परत 40 वर 1440 वर
आपल्या भाषेत थोडी अवकाश नाही
हा ना ते स्ट्रीमिंग पण करतंय ते वेबकॅम पण प्रोसेस करतंय
पण त्याची अवकाश नाही तेवढी
मी एवढा मागे गेल्यावर दिसतंय का मी
clear retake on the side of Geng. What can they really do? They only have a sheriff, a couple sheriffs on Meteor and Texture. And we've seen this post plant happen a lot from the side of Sentinels. They'll put this deep alarm bot in water with a molly. It's all to delay. And then they'll cycle smokes on default. This is so hard to break through. Zekin's having such a map already.
Dude, it's the second round, and he's already 1 point away from having his ult online.
And he's hungry. He wants more. Here it is. He gets that ultimate.
I mean, when you have that far of an advantage, you really want to push, and that's exactly what he does. So massive for two reasons. You mentioned Sentinels, you mentioned Zekin struggling, and how it's important for him to get back online, get the ball rolling as quickly as possible. And I think he's already doing that 7-1. But also, the showstopper round 3. Huge.
Yeah, and they didn't lose a single rifle in the process. John QT, he was sitting on a sheriff the entire time. Yeah, Zekin falls down there, but he got the showstopper like you said, and John was able to pick that Spectre up and now upgrade to a Vandal. And on the other side, it's all light armor across the board. If that showstopper even tags somebody, it's going to do mad damage. It'd probably take out a couple players. But I will say, in the last series, we saw Zekin whiff a couple of those ultimates. So
think about that bind one, that sword, right past Autumn, if I'm not mistaken. Seems like a lot of pings on the minimap towards B at the beginning of the round. Genji's seemingly wise to it. 3/5 of their team is posted up around here for now.
But the mid-rounding, Celsius, while all that front B pressure was happening, took all of C control. And he's farming up his own little guns right here. He's going to need to be careful right here. He gets played out. Yeah, that showstopper is going to do the damage.
And the thing is, here, if you're Sentinels, you don't have to fully commit to this. It seems like they might, though. Tens is already TP'd all the way across. You've got everything back sight, mowing over Geng.
An absolute firing squad that Texture just ran into.
I mean, he swings it. It's the most terrifying thing you can imagine.
It was diabolical.
And so now, as the dust settles and as the rest of the round kind of comes to a close, you see Sentinels with a really big advantage here. They're up on numbers. You've got John, who's going to get a little bit closer to having his ult online. Zealous is halfway to his. Money's in a really good spot. This is the Sentinels that was missing a couple of days ago. This was the Sentinels that was missing in the opening match of this tournament.
Yeah, missing in stage 2. Honestly, even in the playoff, they barely squeaked in. Celsius gets the quick trade, securing the round, getting closer to that ultimate. And yeah, Zekin wasn't the one that got that showstopper kill. But Sasi doing his due diligence with that Fade Prowler, sniffing out Munchkin. And yeah, there's not much you can do in a spot like that against a showstopper and a Spectre.
No, I mean, you mentioned it. He needed to be careful. That was just that's a brutal one-and-done spot.
And losing the bonus round, it could feel so bad. Your economy feels like you can never really get it going. That being said, it's going to be light armors again across the board right now, and a showstopper of his own for Texture.
See if he's able to replicate any of that success. Maybe that's the tipping factor here, because you see the buy, it's not great. 2 Stingers and then Sheriffs. For Sentinels, again, a slow start, pretty metered, pretty tempered, if you will, just kind of waiting to see if Geng are going to get active, if they're going to try to take some space and throw something aggressive into the fold, and that's exactly right. You got the Paranoia that's out, and they're going to give up some of the same main space, trade the Paranoia of their own, but manage to get away on stage.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that all that C control was already gathered. So there's 5 members here, and the rotations can't make it until Sentinels are aware of this. They're getting delayed.
You got to be careful here, too. There's a brutal crunch. Remember, Texture has his ult. But once again, fully setting out onto C. Sasi will be the first to fall. As Munchkin manages to find 2 on the round. There's the ult popped as well. Not connecting on anything, but Munchkin continues to farm. 3 on the round now.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought he had fired it off already. Celsius falls on it. It's just John left in a 1v4, and they're weak, but not that weak. A thrifty round for Geng.
He may have been in the wrong position in the round previously, but this time he took things into his own hands. He gets 4 into the round, 3 with the Stinger, gets the upgrade. That allows Texture to go in with that showstopper and secure the round win. And what a way to stop the bleeding. I mean, winning an eco round, now all of a sudden your economy is going to be back in the game. You're back in the mix of things. Geng needed this, and they needed it desperately.
And there was never any doubt that a team like Geng would punch back. Right? Yeah. They're not the team to roll over. They're not the team to kind of fall in the face of big moments. So you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was inevitable. The question was when. And it just so happens that the stars aligned on the 4th round.
They're also a team that takes a little bit to get going in series, I noticed. Sometimes, they'll go down I don't know, 4 or 5 rounds, and then they'll bring it all the way back and even secure out the map if that. But if not, they can reverse sweep at any moment.
Sure. Zekin already taking a ton of damage. Just off a spam through the smokes, 21 HP, no armor left to him.
The Riot games are connected.
These teams play at such a high level, both of them. It feels like we're truly watching like just a chess match right now. Just a battle back and forth of the brains. Sentinels will take space here. Geng will take space there. This tit for tat, blow for blow. The rotations being in full effect. Look, 3 members facing each other in front B. Both teams have such a good read on how each other play.
Low quality or चालू करो.
Spike is rotating back towards B. Both Paranoias have been traded. As of personnel on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Both players have been traded too.
All that KJ utility pop towards C. They have a decent idea that's where the hit is, but with 30 seconds left, there's still a couple of options. So once again, 10's the tip of the spear, TPing forward. A little bit separated. How in the world does Meteor win that? Saucy with the swing on the trade. Nicely done. And now with 3v3. As Texture creeping his way forward. The first to fight, the first to find a kill. As has been the case, instantly traded right back to now. Saucy has his eye. Lakia has no health left. It's Karen alone. He's been good.
Let's go.
Head and shoulders above the rest. But can he deliver here? Against John QT? No, we cannot. The leader for Sentinels delivers once more.
I mean, it was trade for trade the entire way through. It came down to a 1v1. It's that chess match I was talking about. This is going to be such a close series if it continues onward like this. But now, it's ultimates available for the side of Sentinels. Here's the replay of the trading on site. So evenly matched, it feels like. Pistol round truly the only difference maker in these rounds in this 1v1.
And again, we talked about this when we saw them play against FPX. The big difference was John QT, it felt like, in my opinion. Right? When Sentinels have been good, John has delivered. That's a big moment for him early on.
वेट झाले की लगेच सिंपली द्यायला पण
They could be a really big thing, especially early on.
तो पोस्टरचा जॉन क्यूटी पण हाताला पोस्ट करतो फीलिंग
Get more confident in the calling, start getting better reads.
Oh, they've got him figured out. They spotted him.
That was a tough one.
He was there in the previous round too.
Sentinels have a good idea of when a player is playing pushed up like that and they're solo to go through the door, the revolving door. No one has met them there yet.
Look back towards A. Texture getting through the ult. Big timing here. A wide swing and 2 kills found. Again, heroics from Texture. But the counterpunch comes through at just the right time. Second down low, spotting one, trying to switch to the weaker weaponry, not finding a kill. Now 2 the best at 10s on the prowl. Alarmbot keeping him just a little bit further back. His Meteor waltzes into his death, right into the crosshair of the controller. Munchkin does the same.
Ten's too fast in these moments. Holding the angles. It's a tough round to win if you're Geng Texture. He went huge in that moment, getting 2, swinging out super wide. Look at this. That's such a wide swing.
And how many times have we watched Geng and seen Texture do something like that?
Yeah.
Munchkin, Meteor, do something where they're getting 2Ks and 3Ks in most instances where somebody gets traded instantly.
Yep.
But that just seems to be one of their strengths, one of their strong suits, and we're already seeing that play out. I think the big difference here is Sentinels are managing to kind of go toe-to-toe with that, where they haven't been able to in the past.
Yeah, they figured out the spacing game, right? The problems they had against FPX early on in the first map, it's carrying over. They fixed it. They fixed that problem. Their spacing is on point. They're getting trades. Even if a player gets 2, they're able to bring it all the way back. It's going to be an early timeout for Geng. Remember, the only round they've won so far was that Thrifty off the back of Munchkin. He got 4 kills into that round, 1 showstopper kill from Texture. And other than that, it's been very close, right? We had the 1v1. Aaron versus John QT. In this case, it was a 2v2 with 10s. I mean, he just held down that opposite side of the Viper's pit that John QT put down.
Again, it feels like for Gen G, part of their calling card has been delivering in the big moments. And again, anybody on that roster can deliver. Laki is a guy that we don't really talk about a ton, but he's just as good, just as stalwart in those high-pressure moments. Again, I think the big difference here is that Sentinels have been able to respond and deliver with a couple of their own.
Not really getting picked off early either.
Yeah, I think that's huge. That's part of the 4-round difference here. On the other side of the timeout, what are the adjustments? You've got 3 ults on the side of the defense.
Got 4 now.
Yeah.
That AOR gathered.
Only fans नाही करणार अशा
Further, Munchkin clearing out the turret. And now the round right for reset.
I mean, the approach from Sentinels in half and half has been so calculated, so methodical. They clearly do not want to give anything away early on to Gen G.
No. Remember, that's that lurk smoke on C that you mentioned at the beginning of the map, the piss around, but this one way just sucks to get through.
Just gonna keep on being cycled over and over and over. I think this is gonna be an A reclear into a B split potentially. That's why you see an alarm bot from Zelsis put all the way in the back of that C. Ball gets baited out from the side of Sentinels. But a Prowler also
Sand in that hourglass continues to tick away. 30 seconds left in the round now as they've invested the lockdown. Now it's going to be traded back for another.
A big investment from Gen G.
With still a lot of time left to play in the round, the Prowler just got a little bit of info towards A. Second central fired and right into his death. Are they going to be able to navigate some of this? As Lakia is going to fall in exchange.
The time, Doug.
They may have burned the candle down just a bit too low. They're trying to get ahead of this, but the reinforcements are already here. Look at Munchkin's positioning. That's the plan stopped. That's John QT dealt with assassination style. The round will go the way of Gen G.
What a round from Gen G. What poise. To not make any mistakes. Not give a single inch to Sentinels. Holding all of that A space. Not taking the bait on that Killjoy ult. And what a counter ult from Meteor. What a call. The gall you have to make a play like that when you are down in the weaponry. That's the second thrifty win already for the side of Gen G. If they can get things going on these gun rounds, they can bring this one back. So this time, that cautious approach from Sentinels, it works against them. Maybe we're going to see a change of pace. Here it is.
Paranoia already out. The one-way goes up, but they're already past it at this point.
Lakia might get caught right here. He needs to be careful. Oh, that Viper Wall gets up right on time. Munchkin, good awareness in that moment. All that's happening. Yeah, actually took this deep angle.
With the op, we haven't seen that yet. Saucy's aware of it now. Is he going to be able to get away? No, Zelsis chases him down.
Sentinels right now, they have no other choice. They kind of have to just hold W here. There's still 2 mollies they have to deal with. The showstoppers invested in second. He gets chipped down very low.
He didn't have any satchels.
Yeah.
He couldn't go.
Will be a free site gathered. Spike should be planted unless spam.
I mean, it might be a free site, but it feels like they're walking right into Gen G's trap. Lakia has his ult. Smoke's already going through. Zekin getting a little bit aggressive, getting the best of Meteor, but again, still, that nightfall in play, and there it is, right on Q tapped. Got John, who's playing his tight angle, managing to stay alive with the help of the nade, sure. Swinging out into Lakia, but not able to convert. He's now left in a 1v3. He's cutting his losses, he's tucking tail, he's getting out of there.
Yeah, he's got to save. What proactivity from Sentinels in that moment. Tens holding on to that paranoia, shooting it through water. Zekin getting aggressive in that moment. And amongst all the chaos, when the retake is coming through, the flood is actually happening. Sentinels are peeking together. They're not sitting back waiting for the fight to come to them. They're picking really good opportunities to fight together. And the trades are going their way. Full confidence right now for Sen.
जेट काय काम असतं की एक घेतला एंट्री गेली का
at the start of the round.
Both sides. I mean, yeah, a little bit more aggressive towards A. You mentioned that, but I think again, Texture taking that aggressive line towards C with the op.
Thank you for trading me. I love you so much.
John is a better aim than 10-0.
That's just a different look, right? We haven't seen that from them.
A little bit of frustration from the side of Gen G.
Again, the op in the hands of Texture. 3 ults to play around, light armor for everyone.
Aggressive agent सुद्धा नाही. Omen at least
gotta go back to what you were thinking here. No, what is that smoke?
Maybe to hide from an aggressive hunt if there was an A fight to be in the mix. There was a fake TP going into a B hit, so they're trying to condition very small micro things. You have to do that when you're at this high of a level of play.
Zeki was too far out, Tense was too much, and again, delivering. These are the big moments where Geng has their way with opposition. They're yet to win a gun round, but it seems like they're going to here. Forget the thrifties.
Oh my gosh, he went for more.
Just Sean QT and Saucy left. I don't know that they really have anywhere to go.
What a shot from Munchkin, that was disgusting. He's looking for more.
And remember, Munchkin was the hero a couple of rounds ago, the first thrifty round that they won. Delivering again.
Saucy. Not just up to save. I mean, he's got $350 in the bank. Like is definitely going to have members on it. Texture with that operator being one of them.
Yeah, I do want to go back to the value that Munchkin has been able to provide for Geng all year. Right? And I know I mentioned it a couple of rounds ago, but you think about these game-changing moments, these series-defining instances. It's often multi-kill rounds, and it's often...
Yeah. From the top. No one looking at him. He missed his life walls up at the most top 2 times. And then he hits shots like that. That's crazy. To be IGLing, to be the forefront of your squad at the same time, that is so hard to do. He's one of those IGLs who, like you said, he's been doing it all year long. Such a big part of Geng's success this year. Such a big part of their consistency this year. Getting second, the first international, and then winning a championship, the second one in Shanghai.
Level of consistency that has to be rivaled really in the history of Valorant, but has the potential to get pushed to Texture once again with the op. Looking for any skin, any blood, and nothing found. Oh my goodness! Better late than never, I guess. He's gonna get a third! Team on Sentinels! What a round from Texture, the 4K for Geng.
That was unbelievable. He's so quick with it. And now he's the one at the top. That last kill, what was that? Was he trying to flick second there? I mean, he ended up killing John, I believe.
The collat, you know, whatever. You get lucky, but those last two.
Oh my gosh! And that's scary right now if you're Sen. 4 rounds on the defensive side for Geng. Texture is here and ready to play, still sitting on that showstopper.
Wow! And now Meteor's joining in on the fun. This is the Geng that's terrifying! This is the Geng that wins championships!
Meteor literal time in
I said it, Doug.
144 वर ला 144 वर मारते ना
Geng are a team that tends to start off a little bit slow, but when they get warmed up, they're unbelievable.
And yes, this is an eco round, but you know, we talk so much about confidence, we talk so much about momentum and how valuable that is in a game like this. We've already seen 2 cataclysmic shifts as far as how momentum's gone.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have Meteor in the mix of things. We've seen Meteor on this map play Killjoy and just decimate teams by himself. And a hard read here, perfect spray control. Getting the third on top of it. What a nice flip.
Following the tracers all the way back.
Nasty start.
So before we hit the last round of the half, Sentinels will call a timeout of their own. To try to slow down. I think if you're Sen City here, Dre, you've got to find a way to slow down some of this massive swell of momentum that has currently come up from Geng. They've won 3 rounds in a row. They've won 4 out of the last 5. And Texture, Munchkin, and Meteor are online in a massive way. And again, those were the 3 names that caused the most heartache for Sentinels at the beginning of this tournament.
Crazy players that can change the game at any moment.
And I want to take this moment to talk through, you know, the cast talked about it, but I want to mention again the global dominance that Geng Vs has had this year. There was that graphic that was flown by the desk. They're 11-2 in their last 13 global matches.
That's obnoxious.
That's asinine. That level of dominance is just absurd. But now they both find themselves again in a position where one of these two teams goes home today. And it was in a way that nobody expected. You talked about this at the beginning of the match. We thought it might be Heretics that was down here, fighting against likely Sentinels, and Geng Vs would be the ones kind of cruising all the way to the playoff stage, but I guess that's why you play the game.
From both sides right now, Sentinels were up 5-1, Doug. Geng Vs brought it all the way back.
And the fight for a main continues to go the way of Geng Vs. There's just not a lot that Sentinels can do to fight that.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Lockjaw gets taken out, but the showstopper.
Oh, short! Nipping at his heels, but not enough to get the kill.
Oh my gosh.
QT continues to dance with Taz, just looking for any sort of moment of respite to reload. Now back to full strength, continues to hit the spam, no targets found.
Sentinels don't want to let Geng Vs come back in this round with a free pick. That's why they're grouping up. They're death balling right now.
And remember, Garen has had this aggressive angle. Many of the defensive rounds that they've played, are they expecting it here?
Even if they are, I mean, it's so tough. He's ahead of this Viper wall. Oh my gosh! What was that peak in second, though? Instas, and they're just going to run through the door like they have been this entire time.
Perpendicular walls keeping these two teams apart as one of them goes down. Munchkin gets ahead of it. Second on the jump spot, they understand the threat that's on the other side, and now they decide to wait it out. They're beckoning the fight to come to them. Either you wait out the lockdown, or you fight us.
It got spam!
Texture, not able to hold the line, not able to keep up the resistance. The pit invested, Munchkin trying to trace over. Snaps back onto Munchkin, or onto Sasi, excuse me, but Meteor's left alone. Sentinels get to 7.
And they needed that one, but is 7 enough, Doug, on a map like Lotus that is attack-sided?
I'm tempted to say when it comes to matchup between these two teams, conventional wisdom goes out the window, man.
You might be right. Like, it oftentimes comes down to those micro adjustments, pistol rounds even. Clutch plays.
See that peek again from Zekin.
All through the one-way. Oh my gosh.
Tiniest of glimpses.
Nice ball! Oh, John, wait, look! Who knows? Wouldn't know what they were looking at.
Probably flashing the bundle or something. I don't know. 7-5, the way of Sentinels. We've got an interview standing by with Rob Moore, the CEO of Sentinels, standing by right now. Take it away.
Hello everyone, it's the halftime interviews with Bella, and I'm joined by Sentinel CEO Mr. Rob Moore. Hi, nice to meet you, Rob.
Thank you so much.
네, 센티널 CEO 로브 모어 씨와의 인터뷰 준비해봤습니다. 이제 서울 방문한 게 오늘 처음인지 좀 어떻게 이번 챔스 즐기고 계신지 한번 여쭤보겠습니다. Is this your first time in Seoul? How have you been enjoying the city?
This is my first time in Seoul. I think I've already added 5 pounds eating all the great food here.
이 서울 방문은 처음인데 아마 오고 나서 한 2-3kg는 금방 찐 것 같다고 얘기를 하십니다. 오늘 센티널 경기 초반에 활약이 아주 좋습니다. 좀 이렇게 성장을 잘 해봐서 오늘 멋진 경기 보여주고 있는 센티널 팀은 얼마나 좀 자랑스러운지 한번 여쭤보도록 하겠습니다. You must be proud of how the boys are doing. You know, they started off great, so how proud are you?
You know, it's been an amazing year, and obviously now this is our 4th time playing Geng Vs. I'm a little surprised. It's the first time I've ever been in a match where everyone is rooting for the other team. And nobody's wearing a Sentinels jersey today, except for Tenz's uncle.
이제 올해 센티널의 성적이 너무 좋았고 그리고 이제 젠지랑 벌써 붙은 게 4번째인데 사실 경기장에 와서 센티널을 응원하는 팀보다 젠지 관객들로 이렇게 가득 찬 건 또 색다르다고 합니다. 그리고 또 센티널을 응원하고 있는 텐즈의 삼촌분 빼고는 없다고 하네요. 이거는 이제 센티널의 번들 구매. A minute for you. 그럼 저희는
You know, for as much as that was lighthearted and you know whatnot and fun to listen to Rob for a second there, I think he makes a really good point. The Sentinels are in a position that they rarely find themselves in. I mean, yeah, they did at the beginning of the tournament, but the stakes are notably higher here. This is enemy territory that they're playing in front of. When they're often used to looking out to the crowd and seeing a sea of red, it's all black and gold now.
And it's been just blow for blow this entire way through. Everybody on both sides performing at the same amount. You see Texture and Zekken going head-to-head, same amount of kills. John and Munchkin, same amount of kills. It's poetic. Roll for roll. It's so
perhaps indicative of what's in store. Oh, good spam, Texture blocked. You know, you keep wondering, and you know, maybe this is kind of the feeling for most fans that are watching, is that I think there are a lot of questions around if and when Sentinels will crumble. When will they kind of fold under the pressure? Will that be the case? Doesn't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. I will say they are taking a big step back on C this round. Gen G have gotten out onto the site, but Sentinels have the numbers advantage. No paranoia to speak of, no smokes, nothing like that. But Tens has a Sheriff and light armor.
Oh, Zekken also has a Sheriff to his name. Oh, but he's gonna get taken out right here. The proactivity in the post plant. Munchkin getting two.
Not able to find safe passage, not able to get across. Cleared out, now without getting a tag, Tens getting the best of Khan, and now Munchkin left alone, a 1v2. Difficult to win, but possible. Just not the case this time. Again, pistols were elusive to them. In their first matchup, that's now 2 for 2.
That was close as well. Munchkin, he did his damn best right there. He had to get an ace to win that pistol round, and I mean, he might as well could have. But the Sheriffs are too strong. You could wall bang. You could wall bang with them. 2 body shots is all you need. That's why Zekken gets that free kill in the beginning. But look at the shots. Look at the form that Munchkin is in right now. He wants it bad. In that interview that Sue had with Munchkin and Zelsis, Zelsis said, "No, these guys are nervous." Munchkin does not look nervous at all. He was shaking his head the entire way through. Yeah, these pistol rounds haven't been going their way, but all it takes is one Thrifty to get them back on the map, and that's why you see this Vandal. Yep, that's why you see the Vandal heavy armor buy, side of Texture.
Such an abnormal purchase.
You also have a Marshall. Field for Meteor.
The attack side of Lotus.
Sentinels are aware now that the Vandal is in full effect. That room of being shot from Texture. So that's why they're playing so cautious. They don't have the gun advantage when you have a Spectre and a Bulldog. Wow, Tether nade.
Achilles was talking about that on the desk and how it seemed like that needed to be a big part of their success on Lotus, and it hasn't really been much to speak of, to be honest.
That very, very close corner on Zekken. After you used that, I guess somebody could have sneaked in.
This cross is crazy, but Saucy was the backup. He was the reinforcement. Paranoia is out. It's going to tag up Zekken as well. It's just buys time. Wow! With the nade out, still manages to get one. Karen on the equalizer. Celsius now aggressive with the Spectre upgraded in the hands of Munchkin. Can he hold the line? All 3! Meteor's Marshall finally besting him.
30 seconds.
He's now left in 1v2, upgrading to a Vandal. No armor. Challenged in the smoke. Challenged in the map. Sentinels get to 9.
It was a valiant effort from Gen G into that force buy, and it was looking promising. But Celsius, he stepped up huge in that moment. That little off angle here in the spray down, he knew he had to do this. If you give them the sight, if they are able to upgrade, all of a sudden your chances of winning are drastically lowered.
Hey, look at him. They laughing now, buddy.
What a clutch play. And he stands up on top of it, puffing his chest out.
It's a good sign for Sen City. Paranoia out, the spit goes through. Zekken has to take a step back. But with Zelsis and Tens fighting over his shoulder, it's all safe. Annihilated from the very beginning of the round. Bodies littering A main. And it's another song of success for Sen City.
It was so hard to make what was going to happen in that moment. Just util for util, shot for shot. It was chaos, pandemonium, but Celsius, you got to kill with the Outlaw somehow. And it was just the firing squad set up ready here.
And honestly, this was where Gen G did have success.
I missed my nade and we still won.
That was where That was where Geng had success in the first half. They were the ones who dug their heels in. They drew the line in the sand A main. And now Sentinels are giving them a bit of their own medicine. Zelsis still with that eyeball that you mentioned, has his ult to play around.
Just across the board, just very default stuff right now from Sentinels. Understanding they have the gun advantage. They don't want to give any picks. It's reminiscent of how they were approaching their attack sides. Very, very standard and safe.
Approach, if you will.
Maybe that's what the game plan was going into this matchup.
Sure.
Not giving that much away to Geng, not giving these 1v1 exchanges, not giving the contact approaches, fighting as a unit, using utility. Maybe that's the key. Maybe that was the game plan, the adaptation this time around.
It's a cheeky angle here. Zelsis is holding. If he does get threatened, he should be able to get away, unless he's completely overwhelmed.
It's going to be an 8v4 fight, though. That's why you see Tens out with that paranoia.
Yeah, I think it's just noise that Munchkin is making. And it's just enough of noise. It's just enough of a distraction. Very nicely done by Geng, but Zelsis still holding the line on the other side. That's not two bodies spent. The swing of the classic will not betray him. Back-to-back 3Ks for the Vibe Merchant himself.
Played that to near perfection.
I mean, he really did.
And now tethered nade. I mean, yeah, the spike gets planted. Oh, it doesn't even get planted.
Oh! I mean, Tens was still really far away, and time was really short, but that was almost a Munchkin clip.
And remember, last time these two teams played on Lotus, it was a mirror matchup. It was Madrid. It was 13-7 for Sentinels. Geng ended up banning that in the finals. Keeping it in this time around, thinking that maybe Sentinels are weaker than what they were. A shell of what they once were. But Sen, if they get confident, they can beat anybody in the world. That's why they're champions of their own right.
There's some safe pathing on Texture at the beginning, but Karn was the one who walks away worse for wear. The doors tap, the honk goes up, no target found, Saucy's dead.
Crazy.
He's slipping at. Oh my gosh. The Fox is in, the dead, Meteor is dead. They've got the spike down, but they've got to realize there's a threat behind them, and it's a considerable one. The Paranoia is going to tap both. Karn's now dead. Two members trapped in tree. Texture's the only one who's still playing backside. Nice shots out from Munchkin. Equalizing things at number. Zelsis with the lockdown. Gonna try to flush him out as Texture's dead. What do they have to go off this? They have to respect this. They have to give up the space. Nobody on the spike yet. Oh, he's got the line. He can hold it back from there. Seconds the first to fall. Munchkin dealing with the aggression. Zelsis will have to clutch this out on his own. A 1v2. Locky and Munchkin both still have ults to play around. And time's got to be so short. There's none left. Whew.
It wasn't looking too good for Geng in that moment, but they brought it back. Munchkin, he has no fear in these moments. He came here ready to play. He's the playmaker of their team right now. Yeah, Texture had that beautiful entry, but the impact that Munchkin is getting with some of these frags and trades, it's been crazy. And Lakia, who's been quiet, he stepped up big in his own right here. The perfect timing to get second there.
Yeah, it was all up in Munchkin's position. Just a couple of moments ago, he had that line from Broken Door. He was able to drop the spit. And again, the double swing out from them was perfect. So Geng, stay alive, get to 6. An op in the hands of second, and an aggressive line taken with Zelsis close by.
Geng now have 4 ultimates of their own to work with. Meteor, he's creeping up slowly, 3 orbs until he gets his.
The question on my mind is, how far up do the rest of Sentinels go here? How far do they dare to challenge? How much space do they venture towards?
It's all a bait setup on C, but that deep alarm bot, that should be heard from Zelsis, I believe. But they're not reading into it. Last time around, we saw Sentinels use that same alarm bot. They ended B.
They're committing to this.
Showstopper committed.
The B side is empty, but they've popped the 2 ults and the Paranoia out.
Zach just stole that one away, opening the door himself.
The spike does go down though. No ults on the side of Sentinels.
And that does Meteor fallen, so that gives Zelsis this timing.
Keeping them apart. 2 targets found, only 1 claimed. Munchkin, who was so far up at the very beginning, still playing out towards stairs. Ten's besting him. Numbers the way of the defense. Knob still in the hands of Zekin. A difficult weapon to pull this off with.
He's got to be the one that gets on the spike, allow his teammates with the rifles.
I don't know if he has the tools for this.
He's got to hit the shot here.
Aaron's the first to fall. Texture's by himself. Zekin hits the shot. The defuse comes through. Sentinels get to map point.
We said it against FPX. Zekin looked amazing with that operator. And he's continuing that onward here. He's sitting at 20 kills. He opens the door. Takes his own peek here. And it's against Meteor. Ball players.
And you mentioned that that's what allowed the timing for Zelsis to crunch up mid.
Yeah. Zelsis was waiting on that alarm bot the entire way through, hoping that somebody would pick off Meteor, allow him to get that timing, and Zach did just that.
Zach!
Yeah, you know what he said.
I don't know if any of you are lip readers out there, but there were strong words of encouragement towards his teammate.
He said, I love you so much for taking out Meteor.
That's exactly what that was. Gen G called a timeout in the waning moments of this first map. The best of 3 with elimination written all over the walls. The end of the year for one of these 2 squads. Hopes and dreams of lifting hardware end today.
And when you were looking at this map pool, you knew Sentinels had to win this Lotus map. If not, you're going against Gen G on Icebox, Haven, maps that Sentinels haven't really looked that great on.
No, I mean, Icebox was their perma for forever. It's been a while since
they haven't played it since March.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So who knows what they have prepared there, but opting to ban out Ascent, which makes sense. Gen G, the best team in the world on the map, so I get it.
Yeah,
but you're right, they had to win Lotus. And I mean, we're not done.
Not by any means.
But so far, it seems like Sentinels are managing to make good on the plan that they set out to accomplish. Plenty to be found and figured out here, though. Gen G with 2 ults.
Oh, so much info gathered from that fade.
Beautiful eye out from Saucy. You're getting a little bit proactive here. The Prowler doesn't tag, Zekin doesn't either.
Yeah, and Zekin's gonna have to move now. Get off that B site. Saw him do this last time around against FPX. He takes a pick front B, goes towards stairs. He has the alarm bot there for protection.
Munchkin was right up on this in the previous round. He tried the first one is cleared, he stole out 2 mollies.
Such cool protocols right now from Sentinels. So many different layers to this approach.
Yeah, I really like this from Gen G. I mean, they're methodically removing all of the traps and all of the little passive information gathering tools that Sentinels have.
Very high level stuff right now. That's a free B site because of all that.
And yeah, it costs them a paranoia, and yeah, it costs them a little bit of time, but they gladly give that up in exchange for the site.
Viper's Pit invested as well. Texture's going to play ahead of it. It's looking pretty good right now for Gen G Sentinels. What kind of retake do they have cooked up?
Careful here on the crunch. Tens has a paranoia. Karen's going to be the first to fall. The first smoke comes through, the tap of the door, and there's the flash. Is there anything behind it? Texture's the only one who I believe didn't get tagged. He's still up on the pit, like you mentioned. Concealed in the green goo. The spam comes through. Meteor's dead. How much more can he find? Oh, no. Disaster again for Sentinels as Texture obliterates them. 4 found as Gen G get to 7.
What in the hell was that from Texture? He was sitting in that smoke, fearful of his life. He didn't move an inch. He was stone cold. Everybody whizzing past him. He didn't move the whole time. He was crouched here. The entire retake. And that last flick on his Zekin, disgusting.
One enemy remains.
Unbelievable play.
Crazy.
Yeah. The problem is for Gen G, they're going to have to do it again. The deficit that they're facing is so great. But Valorant can be a silly game at times.
the calling of Geng has been really, really good so far on this attacking side.
Well, they're investing heavy into this without real weaponry. Sheriff's and a judge, but they dropped the lockdown, or excuse me, the nightfall. Karen up close. The paranoia's out. Karen's dead. So is Lakia. Texture and Munchkin, the only two that are up. The pit's been planted, but the guns are not great on the other side. Texture's gonna have to clutch again, and he does! 8 for Geng as they stay alive.
It's ridiculous. And a huge investment from Sentinels as well. Saucy using his ultimate. Oh my goodness. Another showstopper online. He just had that 2 rounds ago. The momentum is in full effect right now for Geng. They're within 4 rounds of tying this up.
Last round is often the hardest. And when you're playing against a team of Genji's caliber, it makes sense.
A lot of Odin spam being done in tree. But Texture, oh my gosh, he's not slowing down.
With ult popped, the tether keeps him back. Zekin's got one of his own, but he's gonna have to use it in the next round if we get that far.
Doug, I think Sentinels are crumbling.
Have
to. Yeah. But even the way these fights are going, it's so one-sided in the way of Geng. They're decimating Sentinels in these last couple of rounds. Texture just decided to just wake up and go absolutely nuclear.
Geng with full momentum here. They still work.
This is why. Never been pushed before. And the way they've won these last 3 rounds, Texture, his performance. Play right now. Oh my goodness, 4 HP, and this kill as well. Oh no, it's been off the charts. This is such high-level play right now. Oh my goodness, 4 HP, and this kill as well. Unreal.
Reckless duelist. And it looks like we're due for a clash A main again.
It's a force.
This could be a mess. I mean, almost everyone is here. Both Paranoia's traded. Texture's down. Raid boss falls. And now the ult popped. But it looks like it's a little short. So both teams refusing to rely on this area. But Zeki looking to take us to Icebox. And barring a miracle for Meteor, that's exactly where we're headed. Geng decided to take the fight where Sentinels have succeeded this entire half, and it was ill-advised. 13-9 as Lotus goes the way of Sen City.
Wow, what a map so far. If this is what we have in store, this is insane.
Geng fought back with ferocious attempts, but it wasn't enough to get him over the finish line. It wasn't enough to close the gap. Texture had heroic moments. Munchkin.
म्हणजे टेक्स्चरने जेवढे 1 राऊंडला किल काढले ना 4K तेवढे सासीचे फर्स्ट हाफला होते. तिथं डिफरन्स आता भाई. असं वाटतं जिंजी बाहेर आला त्यात.
We have a big game ahead of us. I'm now jumping.
मला फील होतं जिंजी हरते आज आणि जिंजी बाहेर आला.
हे काय करत राहते एकदम मॅन जे असे पोरगच वाटतं ते फक्त थोडं वयस्कर पोरग 22-23 वर्षाचं आहे. भाई हळू इथं पुढे ठेव तो आधीच तुटला खाली जायचा तो. ये विचित्र प्लेयर आहे यार बा. काय आता हे
야 꼬마야 안 자냐? 아까 크로니클 만났거든요.
गाना लगा दे भाई
भाई
स्ट्राइक
म्हणजे स्ट्राईक हे करायचं स्ट्राईक फॉर्म करायचं आहे का आपल्याला
네 맘속에 날 놔두고 어딘가
एक्सेल एवढा यूज का करता
कुत्रा भारी जेनजी टॉक
मला नाही की जेनजी सगळ्यांना हरवलं पण जेनजी फकिंग सेंटिलस करता हरवलं
नुसतं ओढतच तर आहे भाई ते काय करते ते
जेनजीला आउटप्ले केलं सेंटिलस हेट टू एक्सेप्टेड वर बाय वन त्यांनी आउटप्ले केला
मैन चाइल्ड ओपी
मेसी का टीम भाई मेसी ने बहुत पैसा डाला है क्रू में
मालविका मोहन काय दिसते काय मालविका मोहन साऊथचे ऍक्टर
बीच साऊथचे ऍक्टर गोरा का कळत नाही मला
भाई अगर त्या गोऱ्या निघाल्या ना त्या एवढ्या सुंदर निघतात ना आणि काळ्या निघाल्या ना तेवढ्या
त्यांच्यातून असं 10,000 मधून एक गोरी निघती आणि भाई
समोर नको
कॅन्सल
कॅन्सल अशी लवड्या हा कॅन्सल होईल
आपल्याला
Our elimination match here today. I'm now joined by Sentinel's head coach Kaplan. Now, the map pool was so interesting. You know, the Icebox was left in there. You guys banned a Sen and then a Pig Lotus as well. Are you able to give me any insight as to what the game plan was coming into this map picks and bans?
Yeah, I mean, we just wanted to start on a map we were comfortable on. So while they have a great Lotus, we're really feeling it lately. It's just been a home ground for us, so we picked that. And then for the Icebox, instead of a Sen, honestly, it's out of respect to them. Like they're really good on both maps, and I think Sen is pretty deep strategically, and it's been a bumpy one for us. We'd rather go to Icebox, where I think it's a simpler, scrappier map. We have a chance to throw them off. They'll probably have prepared to play a Sen, so. We'll see how it goes. Planning to win in 3 if we have to, but hopefully we can just close it out here. We've closed it out on Icebox before against them. So, yeah.
I love the mind games. Thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you.
In the saga of Sentinels versus Geng, in this iteration, Sentinels strikes first on Lotus. They pick up the win, but man, let me tell you, Geng had us believing for a minute there that there was a possibility we could be going to overtime. I do want to get some quick thoughts though on that map because, yeah, I mean, you heard Coach Kaplan saying, you know, they know they're good on that map, but it's one that they felt good, very comfortable with, and it showed in the circle.
No, it really did. And, I mean, excellent prep work here for them. But I mean, we got to see the attempted run back there from the side of Geng, but I felt ultimately there was too much damage dealt early. That was the Geng, those last couple rounds that we were coming into this series kind of expecting to see. So it feels like they started to get locked in, but just not being able to make that a 6 and 6 half, having that fairly devastating start. Because I mean, you know, 7-5 overall not bad, but given how things had begun, it was a very poor showing.
I mean, to me, I really feel like Sentinels just got a lot more value out of their util usage.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there were some explosive plays on both sides, some hype moments, those things like that. But little things like, for example, Genji's round where they go to B and they use the showstopper and the nightfall.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then they go into a post plant and they're not really prepared for the angles that and the timing that Sentinels are coming from. So you're going to use those big ults and you can't even convert the round. Things like that. And there was a lot more to it. Like Saucy in particular was doing a great job on the fade, really nailing some important util for the side of Sentinels. Those things really threw Gen G off balance versus Sentinels. So that's
singing the opera.
It really was no. But these two guys absolutely lit it up. You were seeing some highlights there from Zekken and what he was doing in that game. We were talking about when was Zekken going to be back in form. He definitely is here. It is showing. But Texture as well right there with him. I mean, you can't ask for much more from your aces in those situations, right? Like, Texture's hitting some wild shots. Zekken is opening up the map for his team. I mean, genuinely speaking, Achilleos, like this was a war between two titans on each side of the field.
No, it really was. And the parity between the players is actually kind of astounding to witness, because at the half, they're both there 12-8. Only one assist separating them. At the end of the game, they both have pretty much the exact same scoreline. Same amount of kills there at 23, 1 fewer death, 3 less assists for Texture, and then both of them with 5 kills. They both went 5 and 3. These guys were operating on very similar levels. For Texture, though, it was a bit of a run back for him in that second half. Zekken had taken that lead. Texture comes in, overtakes him, and then Zekken's able to capitalize.
Well, you know what, though? Texture was just absolutely on fire in some of these rounds. That takes us to a HyperX Reflex moment of the day. This one, of course, you got Texture, who, you know, look, we're still hoping that Texture gets the ace, but I'll take a collect. I'll take a collect any day of the week.
I mean,
and I got my 50.
Take that.
And he had a couple of those moments that could have been that HyperX Reflex.
Out of your star player on this team, Paper.
He had a couple of those moments that could have been that HyperX replay. Hitting another 4K in there.
Yeah.
Backline behind him, Munch could play pretty well in that map too. But, you know, surprisingly, Karan and Meteor in particular really were struggling on that. Karan getting called out a lot in moments that he typically doesn't. This is kind of one of the things I was talking about, where sometimes you can pick on Karan when he's anchoring a site solo, and you can make him uncomfortable and get those easy first kills and convert rounds off the back of that.
Yeah. Now, of course, this takes us to Icebox, and if you remember history, Icebox was the map that Sentinels closed out against Gen G, but this is Gen G's pick. We have not seen Sentinels, you know, play this, and when they did, it wasn't that great. You know, they had a few wins.
But that kind of is the same story for Gen G internationally, globally rather, I should say, on Icebox. They're 2-4 across the year, and as Kaplan just mentioned in that interview, this is the map that they were able to close things out. They said, you know what, we have ended a series against Gen G with this map before, and it was fairly dominant, 13-6. Regionally, Gen G has been very, very good on Icebox throughout the entirety of the year, but it's still, they've never really had those big, you know, blow people out of the water type performances on that map.
Yeah, other than like towards the end where they kind of destroyed DRX on it, but that was like towards the end, and like DRX is looking really good for what it's worth. But yeah, okay, so basically similar comps here. It's just the Sova versus the Gecko, right? Your info gathering initiator is going to be the change up. So Sentinel's throwing a little bit of a difference in there. Saucy going back to his Sova, the classic agent he's so well known for. Has such impeccable timings on this. So you never know, man. Sentinels look great right now.
No, they really do. And one of the things that my eyes are very much going to, and somebody that we didn't get to really talk about too much, is Lakia. Was not finding that much impact. Was able to put up a couple of assists. Util was there to try to escort players forward or force Sentinels back, but here with this Gecko, I'm looking for big impact from him, not just in the Util usage, but also in his rifling, because he has proven on the global stage, proved it there in Shanghai. This guy still can shoot, but we were not seeing it on Lotus.
And this is a map where he generally thrives. He's really good in the mid to late round about using his Util well and finding those clutches, finding those high impact moments when Gen G needs him the most.
Well, the last time these two teams played, it was Gen G with a 2-0 win. Can Sentinels now return the favor to Gen G, or will we be forced to go to a map 3? Let's send it back over to your casters for this one. It's, of course, Doug and Baby Bay for the call.
Thank you so much, GB. Dre, I think one thing that stood out as we were listening to Kaplan talk was the immense amount of respect that he showed towards Gen G. He didn't want to go towards Ascent. He felt like it was a little bit too strategically deep, wanted to go towards Icebox instead. I think there's a lot that he's showing there. It's like, hey, we know where you're good. We don't want to take you there, bro.
And it also showed in the server of how Sen approached that entire map in the beginning, right? All the attack, it was, you know, the slow, methodical approach, not trying to give any kills. Sentinels and the pistol rounds is what stuck out to me. In a 13-9 win, that's 4 rounds. That's 2 pistols that Sen won.
Yeah.
That's how evenly matched these teams are, that it comes down to who can hit these shots right here.
Nice spots very well. It might be a different story.
Wow.
A couple of sheriff shots already traded and kills found. Texture slips all the way back. But John QT is trying to do a bit of the same, not able to settle shots on the last kill as Geng manages to get the spike down, manages to get away. Now it's on Sentinels to attempt to retake this. Have a little bit of util to play around. They have the drone, they have the Viper Wall, and they have a weakened Texture, a weakened Munchkin. John QT is not much better off. Do they have any lineups? Do they have anything like that? No spits, nothing to speak of. John's not able to stick around. The one Malia that they had, Saucy with 2 big ones. Munchkin left alone. Had the knife, drops down, spots 1. Saucy on the defuse, gotta get it to half. Pauses for the fight as Saucy gets 3 and the defuse.
It was blow for blow the entire round, a 3v3, but Saucy just turned up.
And
those
honestly,
sheriff shots were so clean.
And honestly, that was a guy we didn't talk about a ton on Lotus. It was relatively quiet. I mean, yeah, we talked a lot about Texture and Munchkin and Zelsis, and for good reason. But this Carol was quiet.
Gosh, him and Lakia both.
Yeah.
This roll for roll, these teams are so evenly matched, but it's another pistol the way of Sentinels. In Texture, he will get a Stinger purchased for him from one of his teammates and a light armor invested. Might be the only saving grace.
There is threat here. It's not all safe. Munchkin will fall.
I cannot use that.
But again, it's Texture who can bite back.
Oh, the damage done on the 10s. Saucy. Texture might find the timing here, just like he did on Pistol, but second, he's so ready for it.
And if he continues to be able to get the best of Texture throughout the entire map, that's a really good sign again. But if it's not Texture, it's Meteor. If it's not Meteor, it's Munchkin. It's gonna have to be Karon this time. Saucy looking for the target. Karon's gonna find him. Celsius. Time continues to tick. You've got to have a decent understanding where he might be coming from. The one problem though is Karon has 10 HP. He's so weak, Trey.
And all he needs is 1 headshot. 1 dink of the Sheriff at the right range. Cannot be too far.
He's gonna flip the map.
He's got so much time. Taking the scenic route.
There's not gonna be anything to give this away.
Oh, at the perfect range as well, yeah. He got right out of dodge, but now I think Zelsis smells something as a muck.
Well, the problem is he could be freezing back A main right now. There's no way to know where he's headed.
Yeah. The spike will inevitably
And now, Zelsis will understand
Spike planted.
that Karon's out. He's planted towards B, and now the gunfight begins. All of these minor pieces, all of these minor movements end here. Karon taking a step back. As Zelsis continues to push forward. He has a turret, he has an alarm bot. But no real way to utilize either of those.
He's got so much to clear as well.
And I think part of the problem is Karon has no idea where Zelsis is coming from either. So it's a guessing game for both, the 50-50. Karon's on the swing, can't hit the shot, the 10 HP was what gives it away at the end.
Talk about a saving grace. Zelsis winning that 1v1. Meteor with nuclear on site. Getting 3 kills with that Sheriff. Making it extremely costly from the side of Sentinels. These shots were disgusting. Oh, what a flick. And how does he get this one? Okay.
Shot too big from Zelsis.
Doesn't matter how we did it, it's that we did it, baby!
And the truth is, nobody remembers how things play out at the end. Right? I mean, to a degree, he's absolutely right. It doesn't have to be pretty as long as it works.
Absolutely. Now Geng with gun advantage. Going into this round, it's another A default. A nice tag from Second. He gets a little too greedy, gets taken out by Lakia.
Yeah, swings in way too many. So the weapon will sit up in heaven.
Out of charges.
Geng with no real intentions of the rest of the map. They're all here towards A. Tench trying to get back and stay alive as Lakia is pushed so far already.
He's in a deep mix of things right now. Oh, Hunter's Fury infested.
Third round, but there are only Sheriffs left. don't know that it's going to be enough.
There's a lot of players low right now.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
गरज नसताना यार 2 शेरिफ आहे तुमच्याकडे.
It's light armor on John and Saucy.
थोडासा.
Can they settle this? Genji are playing so far up here. Munchkin has a knife too.
Tags, oh, can't connect.
Texture, 49 HP. As the wall goes down, John QT segmented off. Texture again found success from this very position. Saucy on the reposition, they've gotten it down to 1. Texture's weak. Can he find it? Down to 1v1, 7 bullets left. Saucy with the sheriff. He gets up top and Saucy drops him. The 3K is Sentinels win the bonus. What was that?
Another big round from him. I was wondering why he was investing the Hunter's Fury with such a disadvantage. But they're so confident. At a level like this, it's those crazy plays that make the difference. Unexpected things that happen. And phenomenal execution. What great awareness.
I missed the easy one and I hit the hardest one.
Saucy showing up in a way that we haven't seen in a really long time to deliver the MasterCard Thrifty to get Sentinels to 3. Genji on this weird hobbled by now. They've got a Vandal, a Guardian, light armor. But Sentinels did just show us it doesn't really matter the size of the gun in the fight. Second so far up. But he's been caught, he's been had, he's been found. A life donated here.
Very risky play from Zekken there with no support. Johnny didn't have an angle.
No, he had no way to help him.
Yeah. That's kind of uncharacteristic from Sentinels with the way they played the last map. They didn't really go for risks like that on the defensive side when they knew they had a clear advantage. So maybe a little bit too overconfident, a little too overeager, but a lot of info gathered from Tens.
Yeah, that little pixel angle. Calling to rotate back A. Celsius will have a lot on his hands. And that knife tagging means utility is not going to be a part of it. And in and out behind the wall, finding lethality and getting away.
Even numbers it is.
Yeah, they've still gotten out towards the site. Spike should be able to go down. I don't know if there's anything that Sentinels have to deny this. And now the lockdown early.
Great chaos for Celsius, but he's still going for it.
Seems like he's just going to try to get a parting gift. Even if he gets detained, he's got help. The problem is, what he doesn't have a ton of his time. Meteor's down. Crispy shot out from Tens, and now the rest of the defense starting to creep their way forward. The flash over the wall. Genji giving so much respect and giving so much space here. Again, all of the post-plant utility gone. 2 Vandals in the hands of Genji. Lakia 1 away from having Thrash online. They're waiting for the swing, and there it is. Lakia down. Celsius will get it to half. Munchkin's by himself. Can he stop it? No. Sen City gets a 4.
These retakes from Sentinels are so good on A site so far.
Half defuse la खूप कमी time राहिला असता.
Complete control and patience in the approach. And then they're fighting together. I mean, it was a firing squad that everybody in that post plant had to deal with. Munchkin, had he taken a little bit more of a step out, that spray would have connected, but it just wasn't quite there. And Celsius, what a big impact kill. A lone warrior on site. Dipping out, making it even numbers after a great entry from Texture.
Crash popped at the beginning of the round, clearing out a little bit of that B-long space. And then the knife, too, confirming where Zekken is. It's actually a really nice combo of utility.
Just no follow-up from the side of Genji, so Zekken can hold his ground, keep all this info.
Yeah, but I don't think they wanted that. I think they wanted to find where Zekken was and then hit the other side of the map. The problem is that may be part of Sentinel's plan. They've got so much more utility out towards A, but it's all been cleared. It's all been recalled back. Whoa. Texture finding high ground, but not finding a kill. And so they've gotten out onto A. They should be able to get the spike down. I thought it might go over to Karam because he was on the way from the pit, but it's Munchkin who sinks the spike into the soil of the site. Knife out. Understanding there is a little bit of presence. Celsius further up, but the rest of Sentinel's not far off behind him. Again, these post plants that you mentioned, they've been so effective for Sentinels, but they're at a numbers disadvantage here. Can they convert again?
Oh my goodness.
That's such an aggressive lockdown. They've got to fight it. I don't think they can hold this back. JungQT has already gotten it to half. Tens pushing forward. Just the threat. Just the distraction. Getting the kill too. Lucky and Karen left alone. And it's another round the way of Sentinels.
The retakes of Sentinels. Need I say more? It's too good. That's 5 diffuses, 5 spikes being planted for Geng Vs and no conversion. And they're trying to swing together, but that aggressive lockdown, it created too much chaos. It creates a disconnect.
My brain is completely off right now.
That's him with brain off. I mean, I guess
he doesn't really need it on when he's just playing aim labs.
Yeah, when he's
holding the diffuser.
Swinging out 410 like that, trying to take the fight into A main, sure.
It's slipping away right now for Geng Vs. Nightmares, flashbacks.
Yeah, but I still think I'm very curious to see what things look like on the other side of this timeout for Geng Vs. Because you think about how effective they've been on the other side of timeouts throughout really the entire year. I mean, this is not an area that they're unfamiliar with as far as trying to implement a plan and as far as trying to change the tides in positions like this. I think the one problem is this might be the most important timeout Geng Vs will call all year. This might be the most important timeout of the year for them.
It is. And on the last map, that timeout brought them back into things. They got them back in the mix, gave them a chance, brought it to 13-9. They need to convert around. They're doing a great job of getting the spike planted, but it's the post plants that have been faltered. A disconnect sometimes, Meteor playing too far up. Ten's getting a free pick on him. Then the numbers advantage sways the way of Sentinels. Maybe they all need to fight back sight together as a unit and be cohesive in the post plant.
Again, heavy presence towards A. Karen has his ult. Munchkin 2 away from his.
Another A hit. They understand that they've been getting the spike planted, like I said.
Yeah.
But this time, a change of pace, though. It's a flood. Oh my gosh, they're not ready for it, Doug.
Dan's ahead of the play. He really might be brain off, but it seems to be working. I mean, they just continue to crumble. It's just Texture and Munchkin left. You were just talking about how this has been successful for them. If you think about the equation for Geng Vs, this part has been fine. They've been able to get into post-plant positions, but they lose the post-plants. This time, all of the resistance was met ahead of that.
It's not over yet, though. The wraparound from Texture, he's got 3 to the round.
He's going to have to win a B2, though. The ever-elusive Ace will have to deliver here if he wants to get Geng Vs on the board. He's getting it down to 1! And there it is! An Ace at the best possible time! Geng Vs are on the board!
And he's the guy you want stepping up in moments like this. The runner, the forefront. He's been getting entries all map long. But an ace from your star duelist, that could be what turns the tide. All of a sudden, the team has energy and life in them. But can you string more rounds together? Because you absolutely have to.
This time a bit of a different look for as much as they've been slamming their heads into the wall of A. A little bit more noise B here. And look at this lineup from Zekin. Far up, inserted, with op in hand.
An adaptation made. He was opping B the last 3 rounds. This time he wants in the mix. He wants in the action. He wants to take out Texture, who just got that ace. He's going to have to deal with a lot here, and it looks like Geng Vs have a...
He's had a hot hand, but he's going to get flashed off of his first line, holding the next, almost landing the shot. Sasi understanding Texture so far up already. The second switches to the classic, tries to get away, and Texture hunts him down! 2 kills found! Tenzo trying to punch back, grabs the op. Can he wield it the same way?
This one's just too hard, Doug. Surely, with the Viper's Pit invested, one player tries to save the operator, but They have a lot of time to work with. Maybe Spam could get you a pick.
And they've got money.
Oh, a little bit of a chip damage right there.
Make a play.
Oh,
Trading right back to intense falls
Yeah,
off.
that's
Once
it.
again, hits the ground truly. They just scoop that thing up and get away. Gen G will get their second. And again, it wasn't an ace, but it was Texture setting the pace.
He's so explosive in these moments.
And in a lot of ways, Dre, this feels really reminiscent to what we saw in Lotus. Was the score not 5-1 before things turned?
Yeah, after a timeout.
We're following the same forecast. This is where Gen G really put things together. And it seems like they're doing it again.
I mean, he dashed onto second after second, whipped that off shot. He just ran him down. And then this time around, the Viper's Pit made it easy to isolate fights. Saw Zelsis dropping there. Texture has his second round of jet knives.
11-5 from the start.
What a performance.
But the job's not finished.
Another AD fall.
But this time with a little bit of mid presence. We haven't seen them do this.
They will be matched by a turret.
Remember, they've been throwing this Molly over the top two to clear it. I'm surprised they didn't try that here. It doesn't matter. Zelsis is dead.
Yeah, everyone was isolated. There's 3 members of Sentinels towards B. This is a perfect call from Gen G.
Yeah, you got to be careful here, though. These gunfights are hard to win. A little bit of damage was dealt, yes. But you still have some mid-presence in medium. Beautifully escapes. He tries to get away. John QT has to clear this. And there was no safe space. That's a gorgeous call from Gen G.
That was unreal. What a beautiful, beautiful set play. The walk through mid.
I have to save again.
Yeah. Momentum now the way of Gen G. At what point do Sentinels call their own timeout?
It's gotta be soon.
Oh my goodness.
Spike will go off. Gen G will get to 3. And again, I think it's a lot of the dynamic rounds that we've seen from the attack on the other side of Texture's ace have been splendid.
And now if you're Sentinels, you're worried about mid for the rest of the game. Is another split going to happen when they're doing their AD fault in the beginning? It opens up the map for the attacking side. You're able to be rent-free in the mind of Sentinels.
Yeah, and I realize now as Sentinels will call a timeout, give us a moment to discuss things. I was questioning in the moment. They've been dropping that molly to clear out the turret. You clear out that turret, and then the surprise is given away, right? Like, they tucked in the smoke. That was such a beautiful call.
Very high IQ play. You're 100% right. If that turret gets broken early on,
somebody has
Sentinels
to look.
has to pick it up.
Exactly.
You shift over a player at B. Them not breaking that turret at the timing they did as that A hit is coming through. There's still 3 players towards B. I mean, that's a wonderful call from Munchkin. He may be sitting at 1 kill, but his calling right now is phenomenal. And what a comeback into this half off the ace of Texture.
Very similar to what we saw in Lotus. 2 rounds now between these 2 titans.
It's kind of insane, like Sentinels, with the way that they won all of those rounds in the retake scenarios and whatnot. Their economy has lasted 4 rounds. It's the 4th round, they still have money. But right here, it will be broken if Gen G can win this round. Finally put Sen on an eco, perhaps. Such an uphill battle that Gen G had to climb. And they're just 1 step away.
It seems like they've crested the mountain, or close to it, almost at the summit. Look at the respect mid.
Yeah.
Look at Sasi's positioning. You're absolutely right.
Rent-free. Absolutely rent-free.
Second holding B-line with the op. Gen G a much slower approach to this round.
Yeah. And this is Munchkin's highlight of IGLing. His changes of pace. I mean, the pace in the first 5 rounds, it was A hit, A hit, A hit, A hit, A hit. Now a very, very slow approach. But there's 4 members of Sen here, and that Viper's Pit is infested as well. You kind of have to flip sight in this moment.
They're not committing to this.
Oh,
they are now. That's gonna flush out the pit. Or at least attempt to. Meanwhile, that dart tagging a couple of people. A really good idea of what's waiting on the other side. 30 seconds left, the spike's still not down. They realize that, I mean, the vast majority of the defenses are here. If they decide that they're gonna go up any bit further, it's gonna be with a fight. Texture still alive. And still fragging. He's so far back, you're absolutely right. Locky is tucked. Just waiting on the other side of the pit, waiting for his moment to strike. What is that? John finds him. That was the trap the entire time. They still have this pit up. They're still gonna have to find a way around it. Zels is falling. Zekin 2. Can John 1v3? I don't know if there's enough time for this anyway. The tap, the spam, the 4th round for Geng Vs.
That is an unbelievable round to win for Geng Vs. Sentinels did so many things to make it hard on Geng Vs to win that round.
Borderline impossible.
They pre-fired the Viper's pit. Everything was leading the way of Sentinels, delaying that spike being planted. But Lakia, he may be sitting at 1 kill, but sneaking through there, getting the spike planted with Wingman was everything. Taking all that space back sight. It gives his team the information that John's not playing in the Viper's pit. No one was there. And it's such a risky play, but you gotta make those in times like this. And look, it's been A, so many rounds from Geng Vs. Now they throw a B hit in.
The dart from the defense already clearing out back A. They've got a lot of space too. The alarm bot's gonna give the position away. They've got to understand that the timing window to hit B is now. Texture's already dashed back sight. Karon not far off.
What?
It traded 1 for 1. The fadeaway Molly finding value for Zelsis. The Locky is still there.
Yeah, and so much space gathered as well on this A side.
I mean, they were just so decisive on the hit. But Texture down, Lakia swinging backside, only finding 1. But a valuable one at that. Now 2v2. Tens and Sasi. Sasi, who was heroic in these first couple of rounds, but has since gone quiet. Looking to deliver again against Munchkin and Meteor.
He's in such a good spot right now. He might get double swung though.
There's no way anybody clears this, not in a position like that. Beautiful positioning for Meteor. Sasi tapping, down to 1, 6 bullets left. Munchkin's Molly's gonna buy some time, and that might be all he needs. As the clock continues to tick away, the spike continues to go off. It will expire as Geng Vs has tied us up at 5. Unreal.
What was it that Zelsis said? Doesn't matter how you win, we won it. And their economy is flourishing, so they're chilling with that win. What a great timing to go B though. Identifying that Sentinels have a bad economy, they finally broke it. They finally reached that summit, like you said. And they take fights, these long-range fights towards B. They didn't expect the likes of the Vandal of second in the beginning and it being picked up from Tens as well. But it makes a lot of sense, this approach from Geng Vs.
Sentinels have bought into this again. Light armor and 5 rifles. The Thrash clears so much space.
They're able to pick that one up as well.
Yeah, but the defense is starting to attempt to bolster this site. No targets found. The spit out first. Texture being down is a big one. Sasi also striking. And they've thrown Geng Vs into disarray. The 3 remaining members have to take a step back towards long. Ten's on the swing. And it's a threat. It's a tap. It's a bait. They've got to do something to try to dissuade and try to distract some of what Sentinels are trying to do here. But they've been pushed so far back. Geng Vs cannot find an opening. They cannot find a way in. Sentinels punch back.
The B retake is something we haven't seen yet from Sentinels in this half. And they look damn good at it, just like they did today.
I mean, we sung the praises of the retake so much. I'm not really surprised.
And if you look at the timeline, it's only been retake wins from Sentinels.
Yeah.
Spike diffuses across the board. And it's because they're not giving those long-range fights right away. They're waiting for teammates to group up.
Let's get 7, let's get 7.
Waiting for Geng Vs to fight. And Sentinels, they're wishing for a 7th round here. two big ultimates online for them. Lockdown, Hunter's Fury.
To close out the first half of Icebox, Texture popped his blades.
And right now, Geng Vs all signs leading towards another B default. But Sen aren't buying it. They hear that jet smoke. Second, he's been kind of quiet since last map.
Yeah. They just set Munchkin up to go get the Orb B to have his ult online for this round. Take flight.
Ults don't matter when you have the KO ultimate available to you.
Sentinels should know that. That might be a free kill. It's just so tough to land that on Jets. But he finds Lakia. There's still a lot of threat from the attack here, though. They're not out of the woodworks yet. Oh, Meteor swinging into his death. I thought he had the timing on him, but he did not. Munchkin cannot do it on his own. Second asks for it. Sentinels get 7.
Not taking the bait, holding their ground at A that entire round, and taking the fight to Geng Vs this time. What a change of pace at the very last round of the half.
But again, the exact same story that we saw on Lotus. It was Sentinels until it was Geng Vs, and then it was 7-5 to take us to halftime. We'll see how Icebox closes out.
Red Bull gives you wings.
बंद करायचं माझं
भाई माझ्या असेल जास्त कम इवन प्लेइंग as a fucking goal माझे 4000 खाशे
मासे जास्त असणार ना मी जास्त ती मारतो तो एंट्री कर
माझे किल्स आणि फक्त बँडेज किती ठेवले लागतात चला या
आता लोक अरे यार हे पॉज पार्टी करायची कंप्लीट मॅच तर संपू द्या यार अरे 7-5 झाली काय
I wanna be cause you're good on 것처럼 난 오늘도 달라지기 위해